Funfetti Cake is perfect for any celebration, or just one of the funnest cakes to make, covered with vanilla buttercream and topped with a white chocolate ganache. Start with a large mixing bowl if you're making this cake by hand or with a hand mixer, or use the bowl of your stand mixer. Measure out 1 cup or 2 sticks of room temperature butter and add to the bowl. Follow with 1.5 cups of white sugar. If you would like the full recipe for this funfetti cake, it will be on my website, as well as the full measurements listed in the information box below. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any new recipes. Cream together the butter and sugar until light pale and creamy. This should only take a few minutes as long as the butter, along with all of the other ingredients for your baking, is at room temperature. Just remove the butter from the fridge a few hours before you want to use it. When the butter and sugar are well creamed together, start to crack in the eggs. You'll need 4 medium-sized eggs for this funfetti cake. That may seem like a lot, but the eggs make this cake super light and fluffy, as well as help to bind it together. Crack the eggs in one at a time, beating well to incorporate them into the batter before adding the next one. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to try out this recipe. It's perfect for birthdays or just as a fun baking project. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I also have a bunch of other cake recipes which I'll have linked below. The banana cake recipe is amazing. With the last egg, also add a few teaspoons of vanilla extract for that delicious birthday cake flavour. Mix well until all the ingredients are well combined. The batter may start to look a little curdled or separated like mine has here, but don't worry too much, it'll all come together. Set the wet ingredients to the side while we work on the dry. Place a sieve over a smaller mixing bowl and measure out the flour. You can use all-purpose flour or cake flour here, both will work well. I get asked quite often what the difference between the flours are, and mostly it's the gluten content. Cake flour or all-purpose flour has much less than bread flour, which makes your baked goods light and fluffy. Add a tablespoon of baking powder and a pinch of salt to the bowl. Tap the sieve against your hand to sieve through the ingredients, removing any lumps. You can skip this step if you would like and use a whisk instead to remove any lumps. Add half of the dry ingredients to the wet along with half of the milk and a few tablespoons of sour cream. You don't have to use sour cream, substitute it for natural yogurt or leave it out, but I do recommend using it for a light and fluffy cake. Fold the ingredients together until just combined before adding the other half of the dry ingredients and the milk. Adding it in 2 stages helps to not overmix the batter while also stopping lumps from forming. When you can just no longer see any dry flour, add the sprinkles and fold together a final time until well combined. Divide the cake batter between 2 8-inch or 20cm lined and greased cake tins. Place into a 180°C or 350°F oven for 30 to 35 minutes, or until a skewer inserted into the middle of the cake comes out clean. Leave the cakes to cool for 10 minutes in the tins before transferring to a wire rack. While the cakes are cooling, get started on the vanilla buttercream. If you've ever had trouble before with making buttercream, make sure to watch my tutorial, which will be linked in the description box. I go into absolutely everything you need to know to make the most perfect buttercream. In the bowl of a stand mixer, or a large bowl if you're using a hand mixer, add the room temperature butter. Beat on high speed for about 5 minutes until light and pale. Make sure to scrape down the bowl a few times with a spatula to get around the edges. Add the icing sugar or powdered sugar in 3 stages, mixing in between until well combined. Finally, add a few teaspoons of vanilla for flavour and optionally a few tablespoons of milk to adjust the consistency. When your cakes are completely cooled, place one on a cake stand and use a serrated knife to flatten out the top. Add half a cup of buttercream and use an offset spatula to smooth it over the cake, topping with the next layer. I repeated the cake recipe so I had 4 cakes in total to make a higher layer cake. Give the cake a quick crumb coat, just a thin layer of buttercream to hold in all the crumbs, and place into the fridge for about 30 minutes to set. Add more buttercream and use a cake scraper to smooth out the cake as best you can. Don't worry about getting it perfect, as we're adding sprinkles and a ganache strip. Decorate the cake with any leftover sprinkles before placing back into the fridge to firm up. While the cake is firming up, start making the ganache. Chop up white chocolate and add to a bowl. Heat cream in a saucepan until just about to boil and pour over the chocolate. Leave to stand for about 5 minutes so the heat from the cream can melt the chocolate before stirring until completely smooth. Add gel or liquid colouring to get the desired colour you would like. I've gone for red food colouring to get a light pink. Stir until well combined and let the ganache thicken for about 10 minutes before pouring over the cake. Leave for a few hours to set before cutting a slice. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed this recipe and I will see you on my next video.